what generation are you? You guys are what we now call Generation Z or Generation Z, right? What generation is Father Janet or Sister Michelle of? Are they Generation X? Are the silent generation? No, they're not that old. Ritu ma'am is what generation? Generation X? Perhaps. All right. So you guys, the students are of Generation Z. Now, why I'm talking about that is because people in your age group are the maximum number of people across the world. How many of them are you? You are about 2 billion people across the world. That's Generation Z. You are the maximum people in the world. So the trends, the consumer trends that are emerging now are being primarily defined by people like you. Not like people like me, not like Sister Michelle, not like Father Janet, but people like you are defining the trends, the consumer trends of this new decade. You know, we've entered a new decade of 2020s this year. And in this new decade, it is you who are defining the consumer trends. I'll give you an example. For example, what everyone, your parents did savings, they saved money for your education and all of that. But what did they spend the money on by and large? From your parents' generation, if you remember, people used to spend money on buying a house, buying a car, buying a big television set, things like that, material things. But now what the trend has emerged is, what are people spending their money on savings on, particularly people from your generation or the millennial generation? They're spending money on experiences, right? We need to go for a holiday abroad, or we need to visit some new place, for example, somewhere, a hill station. We want to go mountain climbing. We want to go on a cruise. So people are now spending money on experiences rather than material things. Why do we need a car? Why do we need to own a car? Right? Why do we need to buy a house when we can rent a flat? But we'll rather spend on experiences. So that's a changing trend. So I'm just talking to you about how the trends are changing over the decades. So now, in 2020, this decade of 2020, the trend is online for media, right? How much time do each of you spend on a smartphone? 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours? Okay, you don't have to answer that. Sister Michelle is watching. So I'll tell you. A research by a global web index has shown that Generation Z, people like you, spend about 4 hours and 15 minutes every day on your smartphone. That's a lot of time. That's a hell lot of time. So people are going more and more online to watch news. Now, most of you, I'm sure, consume your news, consume your media from your smartphone or online or over-the-top platforms like Netflix, like Amazon Prime, like Hotstar. So those are the new emerging trends. So if you look at media, the future of media, at least in this decade, is online. The present and the future of media is online. So I'll talk specifically about news and how the news is being consumed online. So now this online is being described by the world leaders as the rise of the fifth estate, right? There was a fourth estate. You know, there are the three estate: legislative, judiciary, and the executive of democracy. There's a fourth estate that was the traditional media. Now the talk is about the fifth estate, which is online. We are all meeting here online, right? So online is the rise of the fifth estate. I'll tell you something. People in India, for example, under the age of 35, all the people under the age of 35, over 50%, to be precise, 56% of people consume their news online from the internet, followed by 26% from television. Only about a little more than a quarter of people. But more than 50% of people like you, like me, like the bulk of the population in India consume their news online. So that is the future of media, online. All right. Whether media is for you, that's the big question, isn't it? That's what we are looking at over here. So think about yourself. How many of you like telling stories, telling about your experiences to people? If you do, media may be an option for you. If you are a social media buff, I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Because if you look at the market of United States, for example, over 70% people consume their news from Twitter. Twitter is the primary source of news for over 70% of the Americans. And that trend is pretty much replicated here in India as well. If you like blogging, if you like vlogging, that's video blogging. If you like to put out new information on social media domains, on the web, media may be an option for you. It's an exciting medium. But what are the challenges? I've been told to speak about the challenges that lie ahead of the media. The biggest challenge for online, for example, is the rise of fake news. You know what fake news is? Morphed videos put out on the internet, on social media to create communal tension, to incite violence. WhatsApp forwards that many of us blindly forward to our friends, which has incorrect information, which can create tensions, that's called fake news. Now, fake news is the single biggest threat or biggest challenge to digital media. Busting fake news is emerging as a whole new domain in the media industry, where you have online platforms like Alt News or Boom or Fact Check, where people check the facts. And so fake news is the single biggest challenge for online media. So if you like busting fake news, if you are conscious of what you forward on the WhatsApp, what you get and what you forward, if you're conscious of that fact, and if you think things through before you act, media may be the future for you. Let's quickly talk about television. Now, before I talk about television, one small fact about fake news. 73% of Indians, according to a research, can't tell a difference between the real news and fake news. So you have to be very careful. If you choose media as a platform, you have to start now. Even if you're forwarding some news, if you're sharing some news about what's happening around you, you have to get it right. You can't be the spreader or the super spreader of fake news. So that's one point on fake news. Now let's quickly talk about television. But before that, before television, I want to ask you, you can write in the chat box and I'll try and read it here. What is your favorite pastime? What do you like to do in your free time? You can write in the chat box. I can see that. What do you do? Reading. Someone says reading. Tanisha says reading. Others, what do you do in your free time? Quickly. Dancing. Very nice. Calligraphy. Very nice. Interesting. So see, these are the new trends. This is the Generation Z trend. Okay, I like to see movies and read books. Okay, reading, good. Listening to music, running. Okay, so web series, writing poems, movies. reading and singing. Okay, all right. So I get the drift. I get the drift. Now, what is the favorite pastime of the world? It has a new favorite pastime. And you know what that is? Gaming is the new booming favorite pastime of the world. So if you want to be a content creator, for example, in the future, you know where the maximum money is to be made, right? It's gaming. So, okay, let's quickly talk about television and then we'll take your questions. So if you're looking for a future in television industry, it's not all gloom and doom for you. I told you the future is online, but if you're in television, I'm in television, for example, it's not gloom and doom. About more than a quarter of the population under 35 in India still tune to television to watch news. So television is also a credible platform for anyone to make their future in. What are the challenges for television now? The challenge for television is how do you present content in an interesting fashion? I'll tell you what's the difference between television and online. In online, you have the control of what you're watching on your phone. You can choose what to click on and read or what to click on and watch. Television, for example, you can't, you are sitting there and you have to see what we are showing you, right? So for television, for us, the challenge is to make that content so gripping that you stay on with us, right? Because you don't have a choice to watch what you want to watch on television on a particular channel. You will see what we are showing you, right? So for us, the challenge is to make it so gripping, so engaging that you stick on to that channel and watch us, right? So that is the challenge for television. But gripping, remember, doesn't mean that you make it a tamasha. You know, much of the primetime television nowadays becomes shouting, slanging match and tamasha. So a gripping content doesn't mean a tamasha, just like a credible content doesn't mean it's boring. So television is going through challenging times and we have to bring it back from these shouting matches to content-driven journalism. Now, 3 questions before I wind up. Is media the future career option for you? I asked you whether you like storytelling. If you like storytelling, media may be an option for you. Media, entertainment, news, any platform, movies. If you like storytelling, that may be an option for you, right? If you like challenges, if you're a person who likes being there first, like with breaking news, being there right first at the block, being accurate, of discovering something new, news industry may be an option for you. If you like to question everything, question the reasoning behind any fact that is being put to you and not accepting anything on face value, news may be an option for you. And most important, the last point I want to make, if you have empathy, if the sufferings and injustices across the world bother you, media may be an option for you. If the pictures that you've seen in the last 1 month of millions of migrant workers, hungry and helpless, walking on the streets, going to their hometowns, thousands of kilometers, walking or on cycle or on rickshaws in the searing heat with as little as 10 rupees in their pocket. If those pictures bothered you and you want to make a difference, media may be an option for you.